Still, I cannot blame you for struggling against me. What reason have you to trust me that your efforts are misplaced? But now, with Brachus Rex nearly risen, there's little more you can do to hinder me. Perhaps for the better. When we first met on the beaches of Sicile, I underestimated you. That blunder has cost me dearly. Still, after all, you need not know more than this. The end is coming. The end of sorrow. The end of pain. Those who oppose me oppose peace itself. And here I thought you'd seen it yourself. Tell me, what is the imp historian doing, if not begging you to divert the void? So, you're familiar after all. You know as well as I that the void is coming. In fact, if I'm very precise, it's already here. But you need not be afraid. The void is ourselves. We are destined to rejoin it. I have chosen a dark and dangerous path, but I vow that those sacrificed have not suffered in vain. My only wish for all of Revellon is the soft hush of silence. Brachus Rex was the forefather of our cause, the original Immaculate. His resurrection brings Revellon one step closer to the ultimate solution: dissolution. Wouldn't you like to meet him? The sorcerer your order was formed to destroy. I'm certain he'd love nothing more than to meet you. Follow me. Find out.
Unleash the seeds of decay!
The seven grant abundance. The altar won't budge.
There simply has to be some kind of mechanism that operates it.
Might need to blow this one open. A hidden switch. Perhaps it has something to do with opening that hatch. A switch much like the first. Could there be more? Three down. Fastened tighter than the treasury.
Born under a lucky star!
What was that? I heard the sound of scraping in the main hall.
Wargraf beckons you and points to the ground. The dust has been disturbed.
Wow. Hello there. And who, pray tell, might you be? Oh, let's just say I keep the place in check. Tidy it up. I'm no one important, really. I've learned to appreciate anonymity. And forgive me if I prefer to distance myself from any possible mishaps you adventurers can cause. Quite unpleasant to get involved. Authorities knocking on your door in the middle of the night and so on. Forgive me if I generalise, but some of your lot are as crazy as they come. I once thought you a quaint sort, but over the years I've come to realise that about 1 in 10 is downright dangerous. Lock up behind bars, paint the key blue and toss it into the sea material. Now I can't help but wonder, are you cut from the same batty cloth? Why've you come here after all? What's the point of it all?
The mysterious stranger gives you a long look and, after what feels like a vast eternity, nods.
Okay.
Strange magic here. How will we deactivate it?
Amulet
That
fits
cultist
perfectly
must have used some
inside.
kind of key or spell to get through.
Malia. Precious Malia.
You call to Wolgraf. He awaits your query.
Please. You... Source Hunter. Ha. By the health of the Seven, you're here. There may yet be hope. Perhaps you remember me as a healer. But gods, what a herald of death I've become. I'm beyond redemption now. But you alone may save Saicil, may save all of Rivellon from the horror I've summoned. King Brachus. Brachus Rex from the tales of old. He lives. The mad Source King, the Lord of Chaos. I have awakened him. I've done a terrible thing. I've raised a mad king from beyond the grave. I imagined so very foolishly that I'd be able to extract an ancient secret from him. But with a simple flash of his arcane magic, I was finished. I'll tell you all I know, Source Hunter. Resurrected, revived, the king lives, but not as the man he once was. He retains the mark of death upon him, like a festering wound. The last of the mad Source Kings he was, and the tyrant who nearly condemned Rivellon to oblivion. He began the War of Wars, marching brother against friend, until every land and home burned with death. It was during this dark time that your order, the Source Hunters, was formed. Brachus was defeated, and Source outlawed from the land. Brachus was a dangerous monster, but he achieved things no man or mortal could have dreamt of. He alone is said to have known a great secret, how to break a forge of souls. I promised to extract this secret for a woman calling herself the Conduit. In exchange, she vowed to reveal to me a certain power of her own. In hindsight, I see that I dealt with the devil, and I've received my damnation. And torment will blight the land. I was given a great stone, a bloodstone, but more charged with life than any I'd seen before. The Conduit said it would imbue Brachus with life enough to share the secret she craved. But what he has become, his powers have all returned, and I cannot stop him. My failures are so many, I can hide them no longer. In my pursuit of the Source King, I've called forth abominations that neither I nor any other can destroy. The ghoul that guards the lighthouse, the Baron of Bones, the twins by fire joined. Their ghastly faces haunt me, and they in turn have rifled through the graves and sarcophagi of Saicil in search of undead minions. Undead, Source Hunter, unkillable. I fear this plague may never end, no matter how many times the rotten dead are defeated. Curse her name, her hell-sent promises. She claims to be a link between her goddess and the world of men. I never believed her divine claims, but I could not deny her great power. It was she who showed me that Bloodstone could be used for more than healing. Her stones, particularly powerful and potent, could raise the dead. What could turn any soft soul towards wickedness? My weakness was love, and it was love that she promised me. The conduit had shown me how to raise skeletons and zombies from their graves. But what I craved was something far more rare. A second life. A true second life for my wife, Malia. She was a beautiful soul, snatched from the world of the living far before her time. Now the conduit's promise seemed simple. A secret for a secret. I'd tell her how to break the soul forge, and she'd tell me how to bring Malia back. You can defeat the unholiness I've raised, Source Hunter. You can save the countless innocents that will perish under the Source King's mad fist. I pray... No, I believe you can reverse my failures.
So Theliron believed that by unleashing these monsters, he'd learn the secret to resurrecting his beloved wife. Aye. In Theliron's position, I'd wager many of us would do the same.
The cities and the children shall burn. Sigils of terror and torment will blight the land. One who comes to watch the spectacle, to see the sovereign of the Source ascend again. Or perhaps you are the first in a long new line, the first that will try to stop my dominion again. I can still feel it ever so vaguely. The force of the stab that cleft my heart and sent my soul shivering into death. But my followers have done it. Ha! They have done it like I knew they would. Blood, the thick red gravy, the source of source, has been yielded unto star-sent stones and has swept away the eternal shadows. How long has it been, I wonder, my first repose in death? An hour? The time it takes the seas to tear down cliffs. It is of no matter. I live, and I shall claim my throne anew. A fable I may have become as time dragged on, but a fact I am once more, little one. Don't you, don't all of you miserable mortals realize that they who are one with Source have thrown off the burdensome mantle of death forever? I embraced Source. I drank it, made it part of my blood and my being. And so a warlord became a sorcerer, and a sorcerer became a king. The fools of this world dubbed me a tyrant, for the gods convinced them I was such, fearful as they were of my rise in power. Armies amassed, too many. Scores I slew, too few. Death took me, too soon, but not for all time. Not a thing. There was a woman once that went by that name, until I mangled her body into that of a lich. Oh, my sister dearest, Cassandra, and her man-cat. Mere pets of mine, the both of them, tools to bruise and break as I saw fit. They bled so very beautifully. The reason for my resurrection, O simplest of spirits, is that I was destined to be. Were it not for the vainglorious fools that raised me now, it would have been another, perhaps wiser being that would have done so in time. And time is of no matter, only to be eternally. A woman seeks my secret, for her soul is entwined with another's, yes. Where once they were inseparable, now they have grown apart in purpose and intent. But my secrets are mine to keep. Perhaps nights when she lies shivering before me, pledging alliance to her king. I will break her forge before I break her. No matter. They still smell like you do, by the by. Your brother and sister hunters, as they closed in around me that first time. Fear. That most sly, most intangible of sense. Drowned out soon afterward by the acid stench of urine. I had but to look at them, and they rusted their chainmail where they stood. I undid so manifold they had to wade through the gore of the fallen. Oh, what a feast, what fountains of gravy we had. Alas, that there were too many, as there clearly are too many of you still. Although, life renewed has made me rather peckish, and from the looks of you, you need but the slightest of squeezes to make squirt the sauce's sauce from your soft, fleshy shell. Yes, look at you, plump as a leech, bulging with freshly sucked blood. Oh, I do believe, as my servants would say as they brought in a squirming, plump girl on a plate, that dinner is served. To me, my baron and my horrors, stand by your death. The dead cannot die.
This will freeze you where you stand.
Back on my feet again. On the mend.
Crystallize and freeze my foes. Staff of Justice.
Back on my feet again.
touch of frost! Advice. Crushing fist!
I'm drenched! How many eyes does a bull have?
Battering ram! Shocking touch!
Prepare to be stunned. And that is the final end of Brachus Rex.
May his soul remain in the depths of hell for good. Crushing fist! Seven, grace me with your power. Thunderstorm! Spirits of water, show your strength! The king is dead. Long live... well, not he. He came close though, Brachus Rex. Close to fulfilling his dream. Dormant he would lie until loyal followers that persisted through centuries would restore him to life afresh. As a ghoul, no more was he reborn. Exactly the type of base necromancy I abhor. But now that he is dust at our feet, I can't help but feeling a morsel of pity. The work of ages, The desire beyond death we undid with a simple stroke of the sword. You may spit and fume, but still you are mistaken. Life, it is such a precious commodity. So precious indeed that death is dealt in droves to merely postpone it. To make it cross the boundaries set by nature. There is much simple irony to be found in these exploits. But at the heart of it lies an equally simple endeavor, which is to overcome the most primal of fears. The dread that prompts philosophy and religion both, and that is the fear of death. To overcome death, if it be possible, is to attain victory over the unconquerable. Such a victory, what a thing of beauty it would be. Still, all this talk about immortality hits the raw and ragged nerve of passing time with relentless momentum. Onward, onward! To be idle is to die!
A stitch in time, eh, friends?
Source Hunter, is it safe? Have you done it? Please tell me that you have sent Brachus Rex to the grave once and for all. Magnificent. Oh, truly wondrous. I feel like a prisoner set free, free to bask in the daylight once more. I was so fearful, petrified almost in the knowledge that I might see him again. You see, I knew the Mad King. In fact, I served him. I'm a wizard hunter, and that means I've seen many centuries pass me by. They weren't always happy ones, and you may take that as an understatement. I was once under Brachus's thrall, bound to him by perfidious magic. Life was an endless cycle of servitude, torture, and humiliation. Only after the first source hunters skewered him like the pig he was did my nightmare end. As you can imagine, I was afraid beyond all measure that the fiend would enslave us all once more. That I'd be cast back into the rank pit that was my past. But he hasn't, and he never will. Thank you. I will never forget this act of valor. So you have heard of her? Yes. I knew Cassandra. She was a sweet girl when we met. Hardly a woman yet. The very opposite of her deranged brother, who did not hesitate to butcher her for his own benefit. We were fast friends in those days. Aye, more than friends. Until he took her down to the dungeons and she returned a woman no longer. A twisted lich had she become, with a twisted mind to match her grisly new shape. He remorselessly and relentlessly sought ways to cheat death. Cassandra and he were soul-forged, so he knew that if she would die, he would die. And so he turned her into a lich. Turned her into a creature neither living nor dead, so that he could break the soul forge without destroying himself in the process. Giving the matter no further thought, he rid his sister of her humanity, so as to rid himself of a spell that could threaten him. Such a man was Brachus Rex. Immortal in his mind and immortal to be in effect. As your swords and spells have demonstrated, though, to this world's everlasting contentment, his deranged fancy was not to be. I don't know. When the Source Hunters besieged Brachus' castle, I sought only to escape. I never heard of her again. Yes, I longed for freedom, for release. When I saw my chance, I ran and never looked back. You have foiled one of Leandra's vile designs, that much is certain. But I highly doubt you forestalled her endgame, whatever that may be. It is therefore imperative that we find her sister Ikara. As you've learned from the accursed duo that was Jake and Evelyn, the White Witch is somehow involved. I will vouch for her gentle nature, but alas, I cannot vouch for her current state of mind. Has she been corrupted by her sister, perhaps? Or have they become enemies locked in a murderous game of cat and mouse? There's no way of knowing until you find her. What I do know is that she lives in a cabin deep in Lacula Forest to the north. If anywhere, that is where I advise your travels should take you next. Very well, Hunter. My gratitude is yours, as is my service.
That's it. Brachus Rex is dead. The way he spoke about our forebears was horrific. I wonder how many Source Hunters had to die before the Source King was deposed. Yes, forward is the only way we can look now. This source cult runs deeper than we dreamed. We must stamp it out before another Brachus Rex rises.